welcome everybody. My name is Chrissy and I'm here with my big boy Sprocket today, and I thought I'd just pop on and shoot a quick video. He's pretty tired. And it's actually May the 13th. It's Friday the 13th, and I love numbers and things like that. I always take them as very positive. I know some people don't see them that way, but I always try and, you know, turn these things into something positive, like black cats. I love seeing them too. So I have got my little snuggle bear Sprocket here with me. Say hi to everybody, Sprocket. He's a bit grubby at the moment. He's been eating a few bones. Oh, I love this big boy. Anyway, I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll just get started, and we'll just channel messages through to you, and we'll just see what comes up. Okay. I'll hold his hand. You know, I've got to always hold his hand. He's so adorable. I do love him. He's got very deep trauma issues, but he's so adorable. All right, let's close our eyes and we'll just get started. Now, I'm getting that someone's having a conniption. Now, this is the energy from above, that somebody is having a conniption. And it's showing me that they're fighting to kind of get their image back. So it's kind of showing me them scrambling up a wall. So it's like climbing a rock wall. They don't have good footing. So this is around somebody in a very high level of power. You know, I always see Fauci. We know he's one of those ones scrambling up the wall who seems very protected. But it could also be somebody else who's in a very high position of power. Oh my gosh, it could even be, to be honest, I know a few in America out there. Biden is certainly someone that you're probably having a lot of issues with at the current time. He's scrambling, and it could even be that, because I'm getting that kind of American kind of energy of the USA and just how things are going kind of south there. And I think we all know, if anyone has watched Biden lately, that it's very bad. And there's only one way that this can go, and that's downhill. So that's why they're showing me that kind of rock wall where he's scrambling to kind of get his footing now. It's just becoming too obvious. Look, I can't believe that no one has stepped in already and sort of helped this situation. I mean, they say, you know, globally that they're caring about older people and they're wanting to protect all the vulnerable and everything, and they leave this guy out in the public arena to just be decimated. It's just horrific what's going on there. And I know if you're living in America, you must just be overwhelmed by that, because it's not giving you that good security moving forward with your country. Gosh, it's certainly making Trump look really good at the moment. I mean, I personally find Trump really funny. I think he's a bit of a wag, actually, because he's very strong in his beliefs, and he's also entertaining and a bit of a character, which is kind of, you know, it makes politics a little bit fun, I think, personally. But I know it's not just about that. I know it's much deeper issues, but I'm definitely getting that today. I'm getting that, yeah, they're scrambling to kind of get to the top of that kind of cliff now, and that's why they're showing me the cliff climb, like, you know, the rock climbing things to try and put your foot on, but this person's slipping. And look, to be honest, it could be Biden. I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? But I believe that Fauci's slipping as well. I believe that Fauci still thinks he's kind of got control of this whole situation, but he doesn't. People are seeing him as a clown now. I think if you look at anything on YouTube and you start reading some of the comments, I tell you what, that's pretty eye-opening, the stuff that people are saying out there. So that's another reason that we can really see that people are waking up, because of some of the comments. Gosh, I do have a laugh sometimes when I read some of the comments. Oh my gosh, especially around the Biden Brandon thing. I'll see what else we get today, but there's definitely a slipping now, and their guides are saying to me that they won't get their footing back. It's over, Red Rover. It's just a matter of time till they hit rock bottom, virtually till they just land on the ground. So not good, but I'm thinking that could be about Biden. And I'm hoping it's about Fauci as well. You know how I feel about him if you watch my videos regularly. I'll see what else we get today. I just got to hold Sprocket's hand. Oh, he's tired. He loves being on my video shoots. He feels a bit of a star. He gets a lot of attention. He's a bit spoilt, my big boy. We'll see what else we get today. Wow, I'm getting like thunder clapping, like really loud. and it's like a jolt, and it's almost like when you get that big flash of lightning, you know, this is that storm activity, and I'm getting that big clap of thunder. You know that big clap of thunder where there's a storm and you even count, like you see the lightning and you know it's coming, you might count to 8 seconds and then boom, it just hits. Even when you're prepared, it still wakes you up. It gives you a heart attack and your heart's pumping. Well, this is what I'm getting now about the people waking up. They're having their thunderstorms and they're getting that big crack of thunder. They're seeing things as well. So they're showing me that the lightning's lighting things up. You know, when it's really dark and then you get that flash of lightning, it lights up the whole sky and it lights everything up and you can see things. Look, and then you get that clap of thunder and it jolts you. It's like, you know, it's like you've had a defibrillator or something put on your heart. You know, when they put those special, I'm not sure, the pads on you. And then they hit them with the electric. Well, this is what I'm getting. In May, and I've said it before, people are having their jolt moments, their waking up moments, and these are going to be big. They're big moments that people can't not see it. And this is what happened, and this is what happened to us probably a year or more ago. You can't unsee what you've seen. Once you've seen it, it's there, etched in your mind, the truths. And that's what I'm definitely getting today of the 13th is, oh, sweetheart, is that this is what's happening. They're having their thunderbolt. They're having their thunderclaps now to wake them up, and they're seeing with the lightning. So this is like that storm activity. I'm definitely getting that today. They're having a lot of their waking up moments now. We're hitting a real turning point. You know, I think I talked about yesterday about the helicopter turbulence that was starting to create the like wind squalls. Well, that's what I'm getting. Maybe all this is relating to climate change. Seems a bit coincidental. They're giving me all these climate symbols, isn't it? But that's what I'm definitely getting is they're going to have these real light bulb moments that, you know, light bulb moments, all right, they're going to have lightning strikes. People are seeing things now and it is mortifying to them. Not for you watching this video because we know what's going on and we're still over behind the fence looking out, like I said the other day, being Wilson off tool time, is it? But that's what I'm getting today. They're showing me that real storm activity, like the grey clouds have moved in and that storm is hitting. And I mean, literally here in Queensland, they're getting hit by storms and we're getting huge, humongous floods again, literally, wiping out towns again. I don't know what's going on there, but it's a bit suspicious because people have never seen these floods in their lifetimes. We know there's some strange things occurring. Let me know what you think's happening down below in the comments because I'm questioning a lot of things myself. But that's what I'm getting. The representation of that storm activity is that people waking up. Oh, sorry, you've got the sneezes, Sprocket. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh my goodness, I must be allergic to you, Sprocket. And so that's what I'm getting today. I'm getting that this is happening. People are oh, I gotta hold his hand. People are waking up to those moments of the truth and seeing the reality of what's before them. Ooh. And they're also showing me, this is what they're showing me. They're showing me like landscaping. So they're showing me like a path of pavers being laid, but they're those long like cement pavers and they start off very small like a square and then the person's going to get onto the next one which is a bit longer and then the next pavings, they're cement and they're flat and they're widening. So what's happening now is the people that are waking up, they're getting on the first stepping stone. You could say like stepping stones, but they're cement pavers. And then they're getting on the next one, and it's wider. And then the next one, and the next one. And eventually they're on this really long stepping stone that they can sort of walk along and see everything. So this is like their path is opening up. And that's the representation that they're giving me today. Their path, you know, it started with some small bit of information, but now it is opening up. And the information is spreading. And this is what I'm saying, these hurdles about government the other day when I was talking about the hurdles being put in front of government and parliamentary leaders. They can't contain all this. They can't hide it anymore. And I've been telling you that for a while, that their things are starting to crumble because it's very hard And I said earlier in the year to put out all the spot fires, because eventually, like I said, the fires stay in the logs. Anyone who's been around really hot fires know that those logs can burn internally for weeks. I think it's even months sometimes, depending on the conditions. But then they flare back up and you got the fire again. So they can put fires out, put the spot fires out, government, but things flare back up. Information comes back out. People store it on their phone. People share things. They can't stop this. And fingers, that Twitter, I don't know what's happening there. If anyone's on Twitter, let me know how that's going, because I haven't heard much about it here in Australia. But fingers, we start getting some truths out. Actually, last night on a channel by, if you look it up, it's called Avi Yemeni, I think his name is. He works for Rebel News here in Australia and Victoria. He actually had all the independent guys who are running for Parliament in Victoria and Melbourne, the most locked down city in the world, and they spoke so well. They were independents who were going to fight back and get Australia's freedom back, and it's really worth a look. He did a live stream, because they are getting no coverage on the mainstream media at all, nothing. And there's probably about, I think there's 6 or 7 of them, and they spoke so well, and they really want to stand up for the people. They're tired of the tyranny, which is also proof that people are waking up and seeing all this. And that's what he actually showed on YouTube. So you can check that out, Avi Yemeni, I think his name is, on Rebel News. And it was just brilliant to hear their points of view and how they're going to sort of try and change things if they can get voted into Parliament. So for you watching my video, if you live here in Australia, get your vote right, get the independents in. Next Saturday is our big voting day here for our new Prime Minister in Australia. Be interesting to see what comes of that, because we know the agenda's rolling out, and they even are quoting a lot of the reset things, such as we're going to build back better, blah, 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 you know. Not music to our ears, that's for sure. Any of us freedom fighters and people fighting back against mandates and tyranny, we don't want to be hearing that anymore. We've had enough of it. So that's what's kind of happening. These are the things that are happening. But of course, mainstream media is just push, Labor, Liberal. And that's, they're making out that's the only 2 choices that people have when it comes, sorry Sprocket, when it comes to this vote. That's the only choice that you have between those 2, but it's incorrect. There's a heap of independents that are running as well, but zero coverage, of course, on the media. As you guys know, living in Canada and wherever you are as well, they don't give them any media coverage. So we've really got to get these votes right and try to get some of these independents into our parliaments. I'll see what else we get today. Oh, he's tired, my baby. He's like a big baby. Now, I'm just definitely getting, channel your energy into the right things. So what they're saying here is you've got to channel your energy correctly. You know, and we talk about this a lot. I know you guys chat to me down below. We don't want to be channeling our thoughts into negativity and that negative headspace. It's very important that we channel our thoughts in the directions and the things we're wanting to, it's almost saying like that we want to have the outcomes of. So, you know, if we're wanting to channel our thoughts into moving into a life of more freedom, more flow, getting some sort of normality back, these are the things we've got to put our energy on, because energy goes where energy flows rather where attention goes. So I really believe in that statement, because it's what you put your thoughts on that you start to create and get more. So that's why it's very important, and the guides are telling you that today, to ensure that you're channeling your energy into the right things. Might be you're channeling it into your work, you might be channeling it into your kids, you might be channeling into your backyard doing gardening. That's what I do. I'm sure you guys do different things. I know a lot of you bushwalk, some of you do wonderful cooking. I hear from a lot of you out there all the things you're doing, play guitars, doesn't matter what you're doing, but channel your energy in the things that are going to keep you in that, they're showing me like that upright position, that position of strength and personal power, and that's what they're definitely showing me today. You know, just because we're kind of protecting ourselves behind the fence and we're still watching kind of what's going on, that doesn't mean that you're completely detached from your life and you're hiding. That's not what the guides are saying. The guides are saying that's just you protecting your energy. And that's the representation there, is that you're constantly doing the things that are going to fulfill you, uplift you, give you joy, happiness, and spark that life back in. You know, we talked about the jelly beans yesterday and bringing colour and things back into our life. I know some of you are out there at the moment in spring. So jealous. Anyway, you're picking all your beautiful flowers and your bulbs are coming up. You know, this is that colour. Bring colour into our lives. You know, you might go and freshen up your wardrobe. So many ways of bringing colour into your life. And like cooking's a wonderful way to do that. You know, getting back to your passions, and you know, that definitely represents colour. So many things. And you know, that's kind of what the guides are saying. Just keep channeling everything into those things that we do want. Because that's very important in moving forward, that we focus on our energy and not waste our energy on trash, is kind of what they're saying. Don't waste any energy in verbal arguments, heated exchanges. And they're not saying not to share the information, because it's good to plant those seeds and keep watering them, because that's what we have to do. That's our job as people who are awake. That's naturally who we are, but that's actually a strength as well. So you can channel things into that, but you don't want to become overly obsessed by that where it consumes your whole life. Because I think, looking back probably a year and a half ago maybe, when this first started happening, it probably did consume God, he's funny. It probably did consume a lot of us, and we got very overwhelmed and everything. We would Google, you know, YouTube, Google, and we were just searching and wanting answers, and how could this be happening? This can't be real. And we became like obsessed. But I feel like that's definitely what the guides are sort of saying today. Don't go back to that headspace now. We're not there anymore. We're working on the things that are important to us, and they're sort of saying to me, for us today, like, this is a historical moment for us today. So this is like, to me, they're indicating that this is a really pivotal turning point in your life. So making sure that you're channeling your energies in that right direction is very pivotal to you moving forward now. Because they're kind of saying to me that the gap is growing. And this is the gap of leaving people behind. So the people who are still asleep and in a coma, I know there's probably about a third of them. We've sort of talked about that before. We're really leaving them behind now. We're just moving into a whole other avenue and way of living. They're going to be stuck down there now. Anyone who's not even semi-awake or even open their eyes, it's pretty much over for them. They've gone down their path and they've chosen. But remember, this gap in between of all the people waking up is still enormous. So this is what I'm getting. That gap is getting wider. So these people, if you think about it, in the middle, who are still waking up, they kind of have to choose. You can't, well, people call it being in Switzerland, which is like in between. You can't stay in between. It gets to a point where you're either pulled that way, or you're going to be pulled back like the crab in the bucket and pulled this way. So this is like that stretching out now. They're either going to open their path up and get more and more and more information that leads them to that awakening process, or they're just going to slip back into it. And fear can do that to a lot of people. So I'm definitely getting that image today about that gap is really stretching out now. And that's about that waking up process. They're getting fed more and more information. They're starting to research. They're starting to look for things. Not us. We're already awake and we're living in that different realm of awareness, as in our gut feelings, our senses, our vibration. We're understanding that what we put out, we get back. It's important to focus on the things that make us feel stronger. This is what these people in this stretched out kind of gap are going through now. So that gap's getting wider because more people are kind of waking up and moving towards that realm. I'll see what else we get. Any final messages today? Oh, I still get Canada. You come up all the time. Canada is still trying to collapse that narrative. There are people fighting for your freedom. I don't think you can just sort of sit back and think, oh, Trudeau's just walking all over us and we're just like flat pancakes. That's not true. I believe there are people in there that, like I've said before, he's rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way with his dictatorship and his rudeness, and it doesn't sit well with people. So there are people who are standing up to him because his arguments, you've got to remember that there's no logic in a lot of this, and there's also no science in a lot of this. Now, my husband actually was just telling me before about a guy, he'd come into his work, and he works for a very big company up here in the mountains, and he was actually saying that they're still mandating, I think it's the third jab, and he doesn't want to get it. He hasn't had any vaccines, and now he's actually bringing out his lawyer now because he doesn't want to get the jab. And I think what you've got to remember, that this is happening worldwide on a global scale. People are bringing in the law teams now, and these things are being built behind the scenes. People are coming together for anyone who's injured from these vaccines, being forced and coerced. This is now becoming a legal matter because these things have been pushed and coerced, and they were done illegally in some situations. And also, now that the data is coming out, look at Pfizer, look at the FDA now talking about Johnson & Johnson and how they're suggesting people don't have it because of the blood clots in young women, particularly. There's all these things popping up. And now that data's out and the information, someone has to be held accountable for this because that was all hidden. That was hidden. And they kept feeding people the narrative that they're perfectly safe and effective, and there's no, it's very rare to have side effects. It's not very rare to have side effects. This is becoming a huge issue. As we know, the myocarditis through the roof. So this is what's happening now. These are becoming legal procedures, and people are now looking for that someone to be held accountable, and someone should be held accountable. People talk a lot on, about the crimes against humanity. Well, this is just the ultimate crime, isn't it, in all areas of government? How can so many people be so corrupt and so involved in this agenda? And this is what I'm definitely getting, that people are now starting to stand up, And the sad thing is, not everyone's going to have the money to pay for legal help and counsel and support to fight these battles. It's only the people who can afford it. So, I'm sure government legal processes aren't going to help and support anybody. So this is now what people are starting to realise in that gap. Hang on, if I take that third jab, that person, I heard about that person on Facebook or the other day on that YouTube channel, and they had no compensation and now they can't work. And how are they going to survive moving forward if they've got kids and that business shut down? Like, so much is going on in their heads. Could you imagine that you're being told you've probably got to get the fourth jab, and now they're even talking here in Australia, I'm sure they are where you are, gosh, they would be in Canada and America, I'm sure. They've already got little video clips out now, and it was on the mainstream media about the credit score for how far you drive and what your emissions are. That's already coming out here in Australia, so we're definitely a testing ground for the credit scoring of the vehicles. So again, pushing everybody to get the hybrids and the electrics. And we don't even have enough charging stations in Australia, to be honest. They're only really in the sort of main capital cities and a few cities in between. So that's just not going to happen overnight. But already they're talking about your credit score. So we know it's rolling out, and it is rolling out. So that's why it's so important that we get our votes right moving forward. And fingers for Victoria, because you guys really need to change your government down there. Dan Andrews has got to take a big hike. I'm sure that's what you want. So go check out that Avi Ameni interview with those 6 or 7 independents that are running. It's just great to hear people that think and feel like us. It was so refreshing to just see people who want to be leaders understanding all about the reset agenda. And they actually said, who voted these people in to decide how we all want to live our lives. And they all agreed that they wanted the people to have more say. And that's what people want. People want to have more say in their lives moving forward. They've had enough. And I'm going to leave you with that today. Oh my gosh, that's a lot to absorb, isn't it? But, the fact is that people are waking up. That gap's getting bigger. Their path and their sort of stepping stones, cement stepping stones, are widening because the information's coming to them and it's getting clearer and clearer. And I really want you to hold that picture in your mind today. We're already there. We're already sensing, feeling. We just have this sort of spoken knowing about what's going on. But these people are starting to get there now. Like I said, there'll be the few that won't, and you just have to respect that. And gosh, how many people are we still seeing wearing masks? It's like getting ridiculous. I think there's more wearing masks now than there was in the lockdowns. But, you know, just leave them to it. They're just in their own little world, in their little bubble, because their bubble hasn't popped yet. But I tell you what, the bubble's popped, and it's continuing to pop for a lot of these people who are starting to see things now, and they are starting to see them. All right, I'm going to leave you with that today, and I will say goodbye from Australia. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Hit those like buttons. This is Fockety, so funny. Hit the like buttons because that helps my algorithms and gets these messages around as well. Have a wonderful Friday the 13th. Lucky Friday the 13th. I always enjoy a good Friday the 13th of May, and I will see you very soon. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.